Rex tremende majestatis, qui salvamos salvas gratis.
Welcome back to another enlightening episode of the Latin Revival Podcast, where we explore the deeply rooted traditions, history, and teachings of the Catholic Church. In today's episode, we're going to explore the intricate and majestic structure of the Church and how it's organized, who leads it, and what various roles each leader plays within this sacred institution. Imagine the Church as a grand cathedral, with each stone, each pillar, contributing to its strength and beauty. The Church is much the same, an intricately designed structure supported by various offices and titles, each with its unique responsibilities. Let's take a closer look at this structure, starting from the top. At the very peak of the Catholic Church hierarchy stands the Pope, the Supreme Pontiff, the successor of St. Peter, and the spiritual leader of over 1 billion Catholics worldwide. The Pope, often referred to as the Holy Father, is the head of the Universal Church and holds the highest spiritual authority. But even the Pope, in his immense responsibility, does not lead alone. He is supported by the College of Cardinals, a group of senior church officials who advise him, and when the time comes, elect his successor. Each cardinal is also a bishop, and many oversee important dioceses or lead significant congregations within the Church's central administration, which is known as the Roman Curia. The Curia itself is a vast and complex organization, divided into dicasteries, which are administrative departments within the Curia, and tribunals, that are judicial bodies that handle legal and canonical matters, and various other offices that assist the Pope in governing the Church. Think of the Curia as the Vatican's government, ensuring that the Church's spiritual and administrative needs are met across the globe. Before we proceed with this topic, let's take a quick detour to talk about something you've probably heard of, the Holy See, spelled S-E-E. See is a term often used interchangeably with diocese, but it has a broader and deeper significance. It refers to the jurisdiction or area of authority of a bishop. Let's explore what this means in more detail. First, let's talk about the Holy See. This is perhaps the most important see in the Catholic Church, as it refers to the central governing body of the entire Church, led by the Pope. The Holy See represents not only the Pope's authority as the Bishop of Rome, but also the overarching governance of the global Church. Recognized as a sovereign entity in international law, the Holy See plays a critical role in diplomatic matters and international relations on behalf of the Catholic Church. Up next, we have the Diocesan See, which is perhaps the most familiar concept for many Catholics. This term refers to the geographical area under the authority of a bishop, commonly known as a diocese. The bishop's role here is to provide spiritual and administrative oversight to the faithful within the diocese. Central to this see is the cathedral, the bishop's seat of authority, which serves as a symbolic and operational center of the diocese. Okay, so next up we have the Archiepiscopal See. Moving up in scale, we encounter the Archiepiscopal See. This is the jurisdiction of an archbishop, typically overseeing a larger or more prominent diocese, often referred to as the archdiocese. The archbishop, also known as the metropolitan, has supervisory authority over the diocese within his province, providing guidance and support to the bishops of those dioceses. Okay, so now we turn to the patriarchal sees. These are the jurisdictions of patriarchs, who are bishops of ancient and historical significant sees. Patriarchs hold a particularly esteemed position within the Church, often presiding over large regions that encompass multiple dioceses or archdioceses. Notable examples include the Patriarchs of Constantinople, Alexandria, and Antioch, each with deep roots in the early Christian Church. Lastly, we have the Apostolic See, While the term is frequently used to refer to the Holy See, it can also apply to any diocese that was founded by one of the apostles or holds special historical significance within the Church. These sees are especially revered due to their direct connection to the apostles and their role in the early development of Christian communities. This brings us to the last part, the importance of a see. Understanding the concept of a see is essential for appreciating the structure and organization of the Catholic Church. A see is not merely a title or a geographical area. It's a representation of ecclesiastical authority, symbolizing the continuity and unity of the Church. Each see, whether it's a diocese or archdiocese or a patriarchate, plays a critical role in the Church's mission and governance, contributing to the spiritual leadership and care of the faithful around the world. As we move down the hierarchy, we encounter patriarchates, a group of 12 ancient and prestigious sees, each headed by a patriarch. These patriarchs are akin to grand archbishops, overseeing entire regions of the Church. There are 6 Latin Rite patriarchates and 6 Eastern Rite patriarchates, reflecting the rich diversity within Catholicism. For the Latin Rite, we have the Patriarch of the West, led by the Pope himself, as well as the Patriarchates of Jerusalem, Lisbon, Venice, the East Indies, and the West Indies. The Eastern Rite patriarchs include the Patriarchs of Alexandria, Antioch, Babylonia, and Sis, each representing different Eastern Catholic churches like the Coptic Catholic Church, the Syrian Catholic Church, the Armenian Catholic Church. These Eastern patriarchs are vital in preserving the traditions and liturgies of the Eastern Catholic churches, which are in full communion with Rome. Interestingly, some Eastern Catholic churches, such as the Syro-Malabar and Ukrainian Greek Catholic churches, have leaders known as major archbishops who function like patriarchs, though they do not carry the title. Before I move on, I want to briefly explain what a rite is, spelled R-I-T-E. A rite refers to a liturgical, theological, spiritual, and disciplinary tradition that defines the specific way in which the faith is practiced and celebrated. The most widely practiced rite in the Catholic Church is the Latin Rite, but there are several Eastern rites, such as the Byzantine Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, and the Antiochian Rite, each with their unique liturgical practices and spiritual heritage. Despite these differences, all rites within the Catholic Church are united in their communion with the Pope and adherence to the foundational teachings of the Church. Okay, now back to the hierarchy. Next, we're going to move on to countries and provinces. So, zooming further, we see that individual countries may have leaders known as primates, though this title is more honorary than administrative. For example, the USA does not have a primate, but countries like Spain and France do. Next, we have provinces. These are groups of dioceses, each headed by a metropolitan archbishop, or simply metropolitan. A province usually consists of several dioceses, with one diocese being the archdiocese, where the metropolitan himself is based. The metropolitan oversees his own archdiocese and also holds a certain authority over other dioceses in the province. In the United States alone, there are numerous provinces, including those in major cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Each of these provinces is vital to the Church's mission in spreading the faith and serving the faithful. Then there are dioceses and parishes. At the local level, we find dioceses, each led by a bishop or an ordinary. The bishop is the shepherd of his diocese, responsible for guiding the spiritual life of the faithful within his territory. The main church of a diocese is known as the cathedral, derived from the Latin word cathedra, meaning throne, signifying the bishop's seat of authority. Within each diocese are smaller communities known as parishes, each with its own church and led by a parish priest, usually called a pastor. This priest is the direct point of contact for most Catholics in their daily spiritual lives. A large parish might also have associate priests and deacons to assist the pastor. Interestingly, a priest in charge of a seminary or non-parish church is known as a rector. The title of rector is also given to local superiors in some religious congregations, like the Jesuits. The Catholic Church, in all its complexity, is beautifully structured to serve its mission, spreading the gospel, administering the sacraments, and guiding the faithful on their spiritual journey. From the Pope in Rome to the local parish priest, each role is essential in maintaining the unity and the sanctity of the Church. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the hierarchy of the Catholic Church. We hope this episode has shed some light on how the Church is organized and the profound responsibilities each leader carries. Stay tuned for more episodes as we continue to explore the rich traditions and teachings of the Catholic Church on Latin Revival.